Hi guys, welcome back to another sewing tutorial with Joma Stitches. My name is Joma. So today I'm going to be redoing an asymmetric skirt that I made for a backless gown in a previous tutorial, and I'm going to be leaving the link to that tutorial in the description box below. And so for this one, as you can see the skirt in the top right hand corner of this video, this skirt was cut as an asymmetric, okay, and for the backless gown, the way we made it, we had to include a top part to it, and then the back was laced. So now that skirt part, a lot of people complained that they didn't understand the explanation. So for that reason, we are going to be redoing the skirt part. So I have a fabric here with me, a silk fabric that's a yard and a couple of inches, and I'm going to be using it to achieve it. And of course I have my tape rule, my fabric scissors, a zipper. The color of the zipper is on the dress because it's multicolored, and then there is a matching thread as well. Then I have my pins, and I have a chalk as well. So let's get into it. So to cut this skirt, we are cutting it the same way you cut a 360 flare. Only the edges of the flare are asymmetric. So first we are going to fold it in half, right? We're going to be folding this in half. Now if you look at this fabric, you see that the edges of the fabric, they are cut, so they are not like equal. So I'm going to be stopping exactly in that area. And what this is going to mean is that whatever is left here is what I'm going to be using at the band for the skirt, okay? So I'm going to be, so instead of folding it exactly in half, I'm folding it, leaving just a few inches that we can use for the band of the skirt, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just fold it like this, and then fold it again. Now this time around, fold it in the middle again, this time, right? Now it is folded into 4 places. Now the thing about this asymmetric skirt you are seeing is that the sides of the skirt, the edges of the skirt, they will not cut round. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Well, the only difference is that when I'm done cutting it out, I'm going to hem the 4 corners of the skirt. Only but the skirt is going to be cut as 360, but the sides are not going to be cut in a circular motion. It's going to just be left the way it is as a rectangle, and I'm just going to hem the edges. So we're going to see this as we progress with it. So let's just cut it out, okay? Now, so to cut this flare, the measurement I need is my waist measurement, and for my waist I'm using 28 inches. So 28 inches divided by 4 will give me 7, and since it's folded into 4, I'm going to be needing 0.5 for each piece to give me a complete 2 inches, which will be enough for our zip allowance. Okay, so for that, to get my 7.5 inches that I need for the waist, I'm going to go ahead and mark 4.6 around. So I'm marking 4.6. I'm going to mark it round. So when I mark this 4.6, I'm going to measure it. Okay, so let's measure this 4.6 that we have marked around to be sure that it's up to the measurement 7.5 we need. Okay, as you can see here, what I have here is 8 inches. 8 is a lot. It's more than 7.5 I need. I can come up a little bit by 1/4 inch when I'm cutting it to get exactly what I need. Now that is all I have to cut out of this dress. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. As I'm cutting, I'm going to be coming up by 1/4 inch because I want it to land exactly as the 7.5. Okay, so I'm cutting it out. Now the next thing I'm going to cut is this part that it's not aligning. I'm going to cut out this part because this is the piece I also use for the band. Okay, my band. Okay, so now what is left here, we have a full skirt, a full circle here, and look at how it's looking. So for the way I'm making this dress, the two long parts are going to be the front and the back of the skirt. the front and the back of the skirt. So now I'm trying to decide whether to use the dotted part for the back or use the very, very flowery part for the back. What do you guys think? All right, so I think I'm going to be using the flower part for the back. So to do that, I'm going to have to fold it back again into 4. All right, now find the middle, which is here. And I'm going to pick out just one part of it, one part, and I'll cut it straight in. So you remove the other part and just cut the other side, just one part. Okay, we're cutting just one opening. Take it out, and here we are. This is our skirt. Okay, so this is the zip allowance. So I want to understand that, I believe that with this explanation that we now understand the skirt part of this dress, and that everybody who has watched this video can now cut it out. Okay, so all I have to do now is take it to my machine. I'm going to leave allowance for the zip. Now, how long do I want the zip? I would like to attach the band and before attaching the zip. So the zip is going to be starting from the band all the way. So for that, I can just come in here and come down by, say, 8 inches or 7 inches. I'm just going to come down by, say, 7 inches, or even lesser than that, or 6, you know, because it's flare, it's going to be able to accommodate you comfortably. So I'm going to pin. I'm going to pin this all the way down. So I have pinned it, but what you are seeing is this. Now folded into 4 now, this is it. This is our skirt piece. It is folded into 4. This is the front part, the top layer, the front part, sorry, and then this is the back, all pinned down. This is where I'm going to match down 1 inch. 1 inch is what we are using for our zip allowance. That's why I said 0.5. 0.5 into 4 will give us 2 inches, which is 1 inch on both sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew with 1 inch all the way down. Now when I sew 1 inch down, I will go ahead and hem the edges of this skirt. I will hem all the edges of the skirt, right, all the way around. Then I'm going to attach the band to the skirt. After attaching the band, before we can attach the zip. So but for the band now for the waist I'm sewing for is 28 inches, right? So 28 inches will be 14 inches when you fold it in half. So let's see what we have here. This is okay, this is not long enough to get 14 inches. Now how wide do I want this skirt to be? I'd like to fold it in like so, but this is not enough to give me 14 inches, which means I will have to cut it again. So what this is going to mean, what's going to happen now is that the band will not be much. It will not be plenty. Okay, now that I have it like so, I can now measure the band that I need. First, I need to trim out this part. So what we're using for the band is just the leftover fabric. Okay, so the band I need is for the waist is 28 and divided by 2 is 14, right? So we need 14. Then I need 1 inch for the zip allowance. This is 1 inch. Now for the front, I'm going to be joining the front with half of an inch. So now I have 15.5. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 15.5 and then cut it out. Now this is the band for the skirt. We're going to be folding it in half to sew the skirt. So the band is probably going to come out to be like 1 inch after folding both sides in. So let's go ahead and start the sewing process. So I'm going to go ahead and sew. I'm going to go ahead and sew the zip allowance with 1 inch, and then hem the edges of the skirt, hem the edges, and then I will show us how we're going to attach the band. So guys, I've hemmed the edges of the skirt. I've hemmed it using 1/2 inch all the way, and I have also joined the zip allowance. See, I've sewn on the zip allowance. So what I'm going to do now is so this is it. It's looking like it. So what I'm going to do now, this is the band that we cut out. Now the only reason I had to add 1/2 inch to the band when I was cutting it is because the piece was not long enough, so that I can join the pieces together. So now I've joined the pieces together with 1/2 inch, and now we have a complete 15 inches, which will give us 1 inch on both sides for the zip. So for me to join the zip, to join the band to the skirt, I'm going to just be using a simple method, which is just open the band, open the waistline, right? Look at the band piece. I'm going to just fold it in half like so, and I'll pick one edge of the zip allowance, and I'm just going to go ahead and pin it all the way. This is like one of the simplest ways to attach a band. Now what this does is that it's going to be neat, it's going to be fine outside, but it will leave rough edges inside. And if you are using this method, which means you intend to use a weaving machine to weave the rough edges, but if not, then please use the other method. And the other method, I used it for the gown we made with this method of skirts, with this asymmetric skirt method. So this that gown, the link to that gown is in the description box below, so you can go ahead and check it out as well. Okay, that's a different method of attaching a band to a skirt. So I have I've sewn the band. I've sewn the band just straight stitch all the way. Here is the front, looking neat. I even went ahead to iron it a little bit. Okay, but the back obviously has rough edges, like I mentioned, which means we have to use an overlocking machine or a weaving machine to sew all the way to make the inside neat. We're going to also use the weaving machine or the overlocking machine to weave this zip allowance that we created at the back for the zip space. So here is the front part. Look at how cute it's looking. And then the skirt is taking shape. Here is the skirt. It's taking shape and it's looking very much like a skirt. And this is the space for the zip allowance, for the zip. So now what's left is to go ahead and attach the zip, because every part of the skirt has been hemmed as it should be, with 1 inch. That's 1/2 inch folded twice, folded in 1/2 inch twice. So I'm going to go ahead now and attach the zip. So guys, if this video was of any help to you, please do not forget to like and share this video as well. And please, if you have any comments or any suggestions, drop them in the comment section. I will be there to read all your comments. And if you have any requests, please drop it in the comment section as well, and I will see them. And of course, see you in my next video. Bye bye. Our skirt is fully ready and ready to be rocked. I love the beautiful flowers behind, the butterflies at the back. The detail is so beautiful. Let me show you guys what I did at the zip. After attaching the zip, this is what I did. Because the zip was so long, and because we don't need the whole length, I had to cut the remaining part off. And instead of keeping that part of the zip bare and just looking tattered, I had to go ahead and make a small pocket for it and lock it. And this is not difficult to make. I've made a video on how I make this in one of our videos, so do well to check them out. And So we're going to take this to the weaving machine, as I've said earlier, and weave all of these places and keep it all clean. That's the only rough part inside, and we're going to keep it clean, do that. And see, it's well ironed and it's ready. Here is the front. I like the details of the front. So when you wear this skirt, you already see how it's going to be looking. It's going to have all these pointy heads and looking so beautiful. So I can't wait to rock them and rock this dress and then show us the look. Thank you for watching till the end. I love you. Bye.